With Dan Weber from Pinewood Inspections. Dan, tell me a little bit about what you do and for how long you've been doing it.
Yeah, we do home inspections, the home inspection company, home inspection services. Pretty much when a real estate transaction is taking place, the buyer of the house will hire us to come out, give a full inspection, roof to the crawl space or whatever basement, kind of like really go through, test everything for function, inspect things for safety. In some cases, we'll check manufacturer specifications in new constructions. But just to put together a report so that the client has something to really go off of in the purchase of their house to make sure they're, feel good about their buy.
Yeah. One of the most important purchases most people will ever make. So definitely
Right.
be comfortable with it. Awesome. So tell me who's the ideal target market for your business?
The ideal target market, we've got kind of two, I don't know if you'd say arms, but two like types of inspections we do. So we'll do, your standard real estate client that's buying a home, just someone like you or me, that's going to buy a home and want to get a report done. That's an ideal client. The second kind of market that we have tailored ourselves to is an investor market. So investors that are purchasing a home to either flip the home or to add to their portfolio or whatnot. But really, that would be more of a we would call it like a home assessment. And so you're getting a little bit more detail, a little bit more conditional reporting as well, not just function and safety. So that if an investor sight unseen is able to get a clear report on what this house is looking like, what the condition of it is in, what, if they need to draw up a scope of work for their remodel, they're actually able to pull it off of our report. So that's kind of like the two different types of clients that we serve.
Yeah. So for the investor, that kind of helps them dig in a little bit deeper to the numbers and see if it makes sense in the long run. Awesome.
Yep.
Awesome. Perfect. So what is your goal for the company long term? Where do you want to take it?
Long term, I'd love to take it as a nationwide company. I think, a lot of our goals this year was getting our Atlanta market kind of, dialed in. We had a goal to set up in Birmingham as like our second, market we tackled. Weren't able to hit that goal this year. Hopefully in the next year we can do that. But slowly, move around to different cities and regions and grow nationwide. That's the goal.
Great. So in that process up until now, are there any mistakes you've made or lessons you've learned that other business owners could learn from, irregardless of their industry?
Yeah, I think I don't know that it would necessarily be a lesson that I learned that other business owners wouldn't, but we have targeted some big clients and, getting all your eggs in one basket with those big clients. If there's any variation in that client, then it affects you immediately. And so not having diversified our two different, types of clients that we are going after sooner than later, that probably was a mistake I made this year. I thought I may have had a little bit more time to diversify that, and now I'm behind the gun and needing to do that sooner than I thought. So, that'd probably be a mistake like I said, I think most business owners would be aware of that one, but I was gambling.
You'd be surprised. Everything starts going really well, and you form that good relationship, and then you don't think about what if things change in the long term.
Yep.
Awesome. So have you had a good coach or mentor as you've moved forward in the business? And if so, why?
I've got probably a handful of guys that every now and then we'll get together. We all have some, own our own businesses and have been in the business world for a season. And so, that's probably the best or only source of mentoring. We'll kind of collaborate a little bit, what's working for you, giving tips back and forth. So that's probably the extent of the coaching I've had in terms of business. And it's, it's valuable. I think I've had couple of my bigger business moves that I've made in the last couple of years came out of, decisions that were instigated, if we're inspired out of that kind of a collaborative group.
Mm-hmm. So good peer group where you can kind of bounce ideas off one another. And
Yep.
awesome. So what do you think the future looks like for Pinewood Inspections, and are there any challenges you see moving forward?
Yeah, I think the future for Pinewood looks like it could be rocky. The challenges causing this rockiness is the probably interest rates and real estate market. So, you know, I've been in some form of construction for a long time that always touches the housing market to some degree, and you know, it's great when it's great and it's rocky when it's not, and so we're just kind of in that little bit of a season right now, and so, you know, it turns around, but that's the challenge that we're facing at the moment. Hopefully it doesn't last too long, and hopefully we can diversify enough that we're, you know, whether that's picking up other types of inspections to try to, you know, offset any lull in the real estate inspections. We're kind of toying around with some stuff like that too. So yeah, just trying to make it work until the real estate market bounces back.
Yep. So if you were talking to a young person that was starting their first business in today's world, what would be the number one piece of advice you would give them?
Number one advice, don't eat your seed. You know, I've told people before, the most ideal thing you can do is start a business while you're working for somebody else, so that you're not having to figure out how to eat on the food that eat your food, you know, eat on the money that you're actually trying to put back into the business to build it. But aside from that, probably a lot of research, and, you know, a lot of the R&D side of like really knowing your market, knowing your target. Is there a market for it? Is it viable? You know, probably doing a lot of front end work there. I've started a lot of businesses with just ideas, and sometimes they worked and it was great, but it wasn't because I did a bunch of research. And you know, hindsight, it's like, well, you probably saved yourself a lot of headache and you doing it proper. You know, it's really checking to see the viability of, you know, your whatever idea that you're tackling, trying to market.
Yep. Awesome. So what is the best way to learn more about Dan or about Pinewood Inspections? How can people get in touch with you?
Yeah, I mean, you know, obviously our website, pinewoodinspections.com, that's going to get you a lot of information about who we are as a company, kind of some of our things that make us different than other inspection companies. Obviously there's contact us, email stuff there if you reach out and ask questions. But yeah, Facebook, Instagram somewhat. Could be better. I'm not great on the socials, and you know, today's world, you really need to be. So that's another challenge that you got to another hurdle to jump.
Gotcha. Cool. I'll link some of those in the description so people can find it
Okay.
easily and get in touch. And my last question for you today is, what most inspires you in the business as you continue to move forward?
Probably my family in the future, my family's future, just really trying to, you know, get something that's developing enough, not necessarily like hand off the business, but developing enough wealth that I can, you know, have something to hand off to my kids and kids' kids and stuff.
Awesome. Leave a legacy.
Yep.
Love it. Awesome. Well, hey, Dan, I really appreciate your time. Thanks for sharing your story and a little bit about Pinewood Inspections.
Yeah. Thanks, Nate. Really appreciate you.